What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Puerto77 coming back at you with our Porto's Point. Just want to cover some topics, cover some stuff that's going on over the past week. This is just something in place that since I haven't been doing my 60 frames no like podcast, so I've been pretty busy and the coordination to do every Wednesday, it's not just the right time. But I still want to hit up my subscribers and all that stuff, just to get my opinions on some of the topic that's happening. So I'm glad, if you're listening, thank you so much for listening. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe to the channel and check out the past content, some good informative, past projects and stuff like that I talked about, on some topics. And I hope you enjoy the future topics. But, let me set this up real quick, do a little screen share, but you don't have to, if you're driving or you're just listening to it, you don't have to look at the screen. It's just to help me keep in sync, keep in motion with the topic we're going over, okay? So first, oh shit, it says, yo, that mic though. If I said, bro, you sound like I'm underwater, really sounds bad? I'll get the fuck out of here. Hold on, let me check. Hey, thanks for letting me know. Is it really that bad? Hold on. Because I might have to close the thing and start all over. How about now? Does it still sound messed up? It may not even be the mic. It might be the hangout. Hold on. Let me back out. Let me do this again. Hold on. Oh, snap. I apologize for this. So it still sounds bad? Damn, this is terrible. Hold on. This is terrible. I'm gonna have to back out and do this again. This is terrible. Hold on, let me send myself the link. I'm gonna have to close this and start all over then. All right, hold on. Oh, this sounds terrible. Give me one moment. All right. How do I sound now, guys? Is it better? How does it sound now? Did it fix it? Because now I'm going to close this whole thing. Anybody? Hello? You good? Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, man. So, yeah, it's probably had to do something with the Hangout itself. All right, that's crazy. I don't know what's been going on with this Google and YouTube Hangout. You would think they would have this better. Anyway, I'm just going to go through some stuff. We'll go down the line. Let me share my screen for those of you that want to see it. But you don't have to. If you're just listening, to the audio, you're perfectly fine with that. The screen sharing stuff is just to help me keep me in sync. And we'll start off with Destiny 2. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, I'm pretty sure everybody noticed, Destiny 2 has been revealed. Looking at the video, it looks like the Cabal, if you're familiar, is one of the races in the game that you fight against. Look like they attacked and destroyed the main tower. And pretty much this will lead to the second one. Given the fact that the trailer talks about the towers destroyed, it sounds like we're going to have a new base, a new place to start from. So everything's going to be new. The few concern I do have is the fact that you're still facing the Cabal. So I was hoping that Destiny 2 might go I don't want to say in a different direction, but just go with new classes, new races to face, just a new segment of the saga. But it sounds like, considering they're still using some of the main characters in the first sequel, it's going to be a continuation and stuff like that. And because it's going to be a continuation, there's going to be some issues I think a lot of fans are going to have. Number one, I don't think Activision and Bungie are going to let your current characters, your current Guardians carry over. Because if it's a continuation to the story, a lot of the work people put in to this game is, they want some of that stuff to carry over. The Guardians, their abilities, and then it gets improved upon. My opinion, if they would have went with a whole new segment or a whole new portion of the universe, then then starting over from scratch wouldn't be so bad. Because it's, new Guardians, new characters, instead of going with the same Hunter, Warlock, and Titan, just 3 new classes, completely new abilities, just completely new everything, improved gameplay. That will be easier to digest. But going on with the same story and starting from scratch, that might rub a lot of people along, the wrong way, because millions of gamers invested in Destiny 1 so much, and they will love the game to carry forward, if you know what I mean. But we'll see how it is. It comes out September 8th. Yeah, and it's going to be on PC. So that's pretty good. I always wonder why the first one wasn't on PC, but now it's on PC for the sequel. So now PC gamers will get to enjoy this franchise. What would be nice, I'll be honest, if this game was cross gameplay across all platforms. I think that would be nice. Just a bigger community that, but of course, that's not going to happen. I think Sony definitely won't allow that to happen, But I think it would have been nice for cross gameplay across all 3 platforms. I think that would have just elevated this game to a whole new level, having such a huge community with Destiny 2. So I think that would have been so awesome. But anyway, let me know what you think about that. Moving on to the next point, I want to talk about rumors of console Project Scorpio being $700. Now, of course, you're always gonna have articles like this and people breaking down processors and stuff like that, and then they're gonna say, due to the math and how components and controllers and all these assumptions, it could possibly cost $700. To me, these are more clickbait articles, articles that are, how can I put it? I don't want to use the word attack. I think take advantage. I'll use that phrase. I think the articles like these take advantage of people having concern about Project Scorpio. Because there's people out there that think this is going to be an $800, $900 console. So when an article gets pushed out like this, everybody's going to gravitate to that. And when they read the article, they'll say to themselves, I knew it's going to be $700. See, this guy gets it, and it's mostly because some people are concerned because they don't want it to be $700, but they're preparing themselves for that letdown. And then, of course, there's people who wants to talk shit because they know $700 is not price point and they want Project Scorpio to fail, to which I don't know why you will want Project Scorpio to fail. I don't know why any gamer, especially if you're a console gamer, wants a console to fail. That doesn't help us console gamers. A console, gotta look, there's only 3 console manufacturers: Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. And one of those manufacturers didn't even really make a true console. They just pretty much a handheld device that you play at home, through a docking station. That's really it. So really, the only 2 genuine consoles are being produced by Microsoft and Sony. You don't want Microsoft, Scorpio to shit the bed, because that's pretty much half our console industry at this point, And, whether you hate Sony or Microsoft or not, there's one thing you can't deny. Everybody puts in their piece, which collectively creates a standard for the industry. I mean, look at Microsoft with achievements, which is now pretty much a standard because PlayStation gamers got trophies and stuff like that. And then look at, how Sony, took the analog stick a step further, made them dual analogs and 4 shoulders. And Microsoft adopted that. Because if some of you remember, OG Xbox first controller wasn't 4 shoulder head buttons. It only had 2 triggers. It didn't have 2 triggers and 2 bumpers like we do now, and stuff like that. And then Sony added, communities to the network. Well, now Xbox got, clubs. So everybody adds some flavor to to what would be the standard for console gaming. So we need Microsoft, we need Scorpio to be successful, so stuff like that. Now for me, no, it's not going to be $700. Not going to happen. The most 500, because Microsoft knows this console needs to sell. Now, is it going to sell to the point where it's going to take over the industry? No, it's not going to do that. There's some expectation that Scorpio is going to be the preferred console choice for gamers once it's released because of its 4K capabilities, but nobody's really thinking about price. And those that do think about price, they're making assumptions that $500 is nothing, and gamers are willing to pay the price due to its graphics. I strenuously argue against that. Let's say you take all the games that are coming out: Red Dead Redemption, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Call of Duty, all the future titles coming out. They're all multiplats, all the future games are multiplats. Playing all those games for $200 is more attractive to the average gamer than paying $500 for a console. And because it's a 4K gaming machine, you have to pay another $400 or $500 to buy the TV to truly get the most out of it. Now, of course, Scorpio will, kind of like what PlayStation does, provide a boost, and you'll get a better 1080p experience. But the $500 price is because of 4K gaming, not just for improved 1080p 60 frames experience. So to get the most out of Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption, and all those other games, you're going to have to pay upwards of, at a minimum, $900. And that's if you get a $400 4K TV, and the Scorpio being $500. That's not attractive to most gamers, paying $900 when you can play those same games. And they still look beautiful, because just because Scorpio comes out doesn't make Xbox One S or the PlayStation 4 bad-looking games. And that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. The introduction of a native 4K console does not dismiss or make PlayStation 4 and Xbox One S irrelevant consoles, all because Scorpio's out. That's not the case. The graphics on these two consoles are still beautiful. I mean, look at Horizon Zero Dawn on the vanilla PS4. Game's absolutely gorgeous, and you could play that, for $250. By the time November comes, or when Scorpio comes, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One S will be down to like $200 and stuff. And gamers are more than happy to just drop $200 and enjoy some great games with beautiful graphics, So, but with that said, I don't see Scorpio being $700 because that is a death sentence. $500, I think, is the most it'll be, and I think it's going to come with at least a 1 terabyte hard drive, maybe even 2 terabytes. It's a premium console, so it's going to attract the premium user, which is smaller than the average console gamer. But $700 will be a death sentence, so I don't see that happening. Next up, let's talk MLB The Show launch day service problem. So MLB The Show launched, and it had launch day service connectivity issues. And a lot of users were complaining about it and stuff. So the service should be up and running now. Some information from San Diego studios are talking the overwhelming connectivity to the servers. So apparently, and of course we'll probably hear more information now, but usually when you have launch day service connectivity, it's usually because the service can't hold up to the demand of the users connecting to it. They don't build these servers day one to hold huge amount of users. They make assumptions of how many users will potentially buy the game day one. So let's say Sony assumed, okay, this game usually sells day one, and over the following 2 weeks, let's say like 200, 300, 400,000 copies. And then over a month to 6-7 week period, 800,000 copies get sold. And then by the end of 2 months, 1 million copies get sold. So they make those predictions. That's how they build their networks. That's how every gaming company builds their networks, because they can't say, hey, let's build a network that will handle 3 million users, and yet you don't get 3 million users. So that's a waste of money and resources. So every game gets built to an assumption of how many users will be on it over time and stuff. Well, apparently, the game sold so well, it surpassed those initial expectations, I guess, and overwhelmed the servers. So Sony had to quickly implement the next phases of building the structure to accommodate more users more quickly. And that's pretty much what it came down to it. So does this mean this might be one of the more successful games MLB Show as compared to the past? And what would be the attributing factor to it? For me, it's with Ken Griffey Jr. being on the cover. It kind of reminds me of when 2K put Jordan on a box. Do you remember that? About 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it was just 2K basketball, 2K basketball. And then 1 year, they made it like the Jordan edition, and it was just Michael Jordan. And then that game just flew off the shelves and stuff like that. So this kind of reminds me of that invigorating appeal. They put, Ken Griffey is one of the greats, one of the all-time greats in baseball, and they put him on the box, which kind of gave me that feeling of what 2K did with 2K basketball by putting Jordan on the box. It just reinvigorated the franchise, and I think a lot of people are jumping on that. And I always seen some big like Instagram. I don't know if you guys know LeBron James. He makes comedy. He made a baseball skit, so I'm seeing people making baseball skits. Popular Vine users and stuff like that, which was different. I never seen that before with MLB The Show. So anyway, post some comments. Let me know how you liking the network connectivity if you bought it. But yeah, so the servers are back online, but this game might be a successful. All right. So now the next topic. Also, if I'm not responding to your comment box, I apologize. It's because I'm not looking at the thing yet and stuff. Oh, where is that noise coming from? Hey, stop it. All right. Next up, I've seen some tweets and some talks of Persona 5 versus, Final Fantasy 15. And because they're both JRPGs, naturally, there's always going to be a comparison of which is the better game, And that's nothing new. What is surprising is people being upset that it's happening, and people, that play Persona 5 are saying it's better than Final Fantasy 15. I don't understand the criticism or why they're so upset. I mean, most of the people are upset didn't play Persona 5, so why are you mad that reviewers and those that play the game and who already have early access to the games are so far enjoying the game more than Final Fantasy 15? Like, what's your narrative? What's your end state? I don't understand why you guys are so upset. I don't get it. It's not like this is a PlayStation versus Xbox fanboy argument, because majority of the people that bought Final Fantasy 15 were PlayStation owners. So I don't understand why, and what's funny is some of the people are upset I see is from the Xbox camp, which I don't get. Like, most reviews don't even care for the JRPGs. Remember that argument? So I don't get why. Is it because Persona 5 is not available on Xbox and Final Fantasy 15 is? And that upsets you guys? Listen, you shouldn't even be upset. You didn't play either game. Now, if you played Persona 5 and you make the counter argument saying, Final Fantasy 15 is better because of X, Y, and Z, then all you're doing is giving your opinion on which game you like better. But that's not what's happening. You guys are upset that people are giving their opinion that Persona 5 is better than Final Fantasy 15, which doesn't make sense. Why are you mad at another person's opinion? That doesn't make sense. I don't even know why this argument is beginning. If people think Persona 5 is better than 15, then oh well. If reviewers want to give Persona 5 a higher Metacritic score than Final Fantasy 15, oh well. You don't like it, don't pay attention to it. But I just don't get that. It's just weird. And I'll talk about that in discussion in a few. But let me move on to the next topic. But let me know definitely what you think about that. The whole Persona 5, 15, and some people are getting triggered over it. Like, why are you mad? Like, don't worry about it. This is not even a Sony Pony versus Xbox thing. Majority of the people who bought 15 were PlayStation gamers. And obviously, PlayStation gamers are going to be the one to play Persona 5. So who better to make that opinion? Anyway, next topic. Michael Ptcher recently said Xbox One Scorpio will be 4K, and that isn't that big of a deal. To get a quote, says Ptcher stated that power is not that important anymore. He further clarified his stance by adding that yes, a console does need great power to do more things, but we are now in an age where graphics looks like movies, and he gave examples of PS4 exclusives as Uncharted 4, Last of Us, and Horizon Zero Dawn as being games which have amazing graphics, and yet the average consumer might not be interested in a minute difference in computational power and graphics capability. I partially agree. but not the way he said it. I think Scorpio is a big deal. I think a console pushing native 4K for most games and developers having that level of access to power is a big deal. I think anytime a console pushes the boundaries in power is a big deal. What I say should have been said is it's not going to be the huge seller. For most gamers, they're not going to be gravitating to this console because of the price. You know, like I said before, most gamers are happy with the graphics that are being pushed now. They're very content, they're happy, and most importantly, it's going to be at a very affordable price. You know, especially this holiday season, $200 for a PlayStation 4, Xbox One S, you can't beat that. That's because you already own a 1080p TV. It's an affordable console, and you could buy 2-3 games. You know, with a Scorpio, you're dropping 5 bones, and you don't even have a game yet. You know, and then the TV, if you really want to go the 4K route. So you're talking at least, $900, $500 for a Scorpio, and $400 for a TV if you could find a TV that cheap. And then 1 game. So you're talking about $960 right off the cuff. You know what I'm saying? Almost $1,000 just to play 1 game. That's not the main thing. Scorpio is going to be for the hardcore tech enthusiasts. That's what you're going to get. That's who's going to be attracted to that platform. All right. So it's a big deal for the fact that it's such a powerful hardware that's going to push gaming. But again, it's not going to be the standard console for most gamers. It's not going to be the biggest seller. It's going to push, some of the best looking games you're going to see for this gen, but that's about it, So I think the way Ptcher worded it, saying not a big deal, I think the power is a big deal, but he should have just said it's not going to be it's not going to be the standard attraction. Console gamer. Next topic. Would you consider a disc-free console option? So an article came out and, an opinion piece talking about that Sony and Microsoft should release a discless option and that it will be cheaper and, for the gamers, that the cost savings will provide it for the gamers and gamers are ready for the discless options. I completely am against this point. And I'm going to give you 2 reasons why. All right. Reason number 1, why it won't be cheaper. Blu-ray disc, even they mentioning here, a Blu-ray disc costs like $50. All right. If I could find it, here we go. A decent Blu-ray, a PC Blu-ray drive costs around $50 or more for some context. Okay. Now think about it. You go to a store and you buy a Blu-ray drive for your PC is $50. That's $50 with profit. Whoever's making that Blu-ray drive is profiting off of $50. So you can imagine the manufacturing cost of that Blu-ray drive. You know what I'm saying? It's really cheap, And then with Sony and Microsoft, when they get these Blu-ray drives, it's in bulk. It's in more bulk than the drive you buy in store, because you're creating this optical drive for every single console. And it's usually the same drive in every single console. So it's really not that much expensive. You're not going to save $50 to what the article is alluding. So the console's not going to be $50 cheaper because you remove the optical drive. At best, you might save $10. You know what I'm saying on that. And guess what? Sony and Microsoft's not going to pass on a $10 saving onto the consumer. That doesn't really make sense. All right. Number 2, it actually limits you guys. Yeah, as much as you might say, well, I only go digital. I only go digital. That's all I do. I'm strictly digital. Cool. You're strictly digital. But number 1, what if one of your buddies says, hey, yo, I just bought this game, man. You want to try it out? Here you go. And you go, yeah, sure. Good. I'll bring it by your house and give it to you. You're like, oh, wait, is it this game? Like, yeah. Oh, I can't play this game. I only got, this free console. Well, all right. I guess you can't play it. So now any attempts of being able to play a free game or something a friend's going to give to you, like gift it to you, like, yeah, here you go. Here's a thing. That's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? 2, it limits other people being able to gift you games. Not everybody's going to buy you a $20, $30 gift card. Or people don't want the inconvenience of buying a gift card so you can buy a game. Especially a lot of these games are free. So, for Christmas, people might be like, ooh, I'm going to buy this game for my friend or for my nephew or for my brother or whatever. And it's $30 in a store or at Amazon or at Walmart. And they buy it physically. If you look at the deals on PlayStation and Xbox Live, these games are cheaper than what you get online for a lot of stuff. Especially like if it launch games. Like for me, I buy my games at Amazon most, because they're $47 since I'm an Amazon Prime member. If I buy every game digitally on the PlayStation Store, it's $60. You understand what I'm saying? So now you limit other people being able to gift you games because they're able to get it cheap from a physical copy, And then also you limit yourself away from renting. There's no rental service um, um, on Xbox and PlayStation. Now, I know Xbox is pushing Game Pass where you pay $99 and you have access to a whole bunch of games, but there's nothing that says you're going to get brand new games day one. They might limit it to games that's already been out, out on the library for a while. Redbox, they get brand new games day one. You might just want to rent the game day one, for one day just to try it out before you actually jump in and purchase it. So you limit yourself on that stuff. So there's so many limiting factors by going disc free, but you gain nothing from it. If you still want to go 100% digital, you can still do that. Nothing says you have to buy this game. And again, you're not going to get the cost savings. The article alludes to the, Sony and Microsoft to create two schools, one with disc, one without disc. That's actually not cheaper for them because they're creating two unique hardwares, two separate hardwares. It's just cheaper to create one standard school that has the same exact build all across all of them by creating two separate manufactured schools, one with a disk drive and one without. That's actually not cheaper for them, So in reality, a disk-free option is no advantage to the user. Chances are it's still going to be the same shape. So it's not like it's going to be smaller and slimmer compared to, the one with the disk option. It's just not something the company's going to do. So there's really no advantage. You can still be 100% digital, even though there's a disc. And then here's the big thing. Some of these people that are saying, I want this free, are the same people hyping the 4K Blu-ray player. You guys do realize a disc-free console means you won't be able to play your Ultra HD Blu-rays. So the point you use that says Xbox One S or the Xbox Scorpio is more value than a PlayStation because of a 4K Blu-ray player, you kind of dismiss that now. Because discless means no disk drive, meaning you can't play your movies. Can't even play a Blu-ray movie. Can't play anything. Anything disc-related, optical disc-related. Doesn't really make sense, does it? So I don't think they will have a disc-free console because I see no advantage to that. Disc drives are not that expensive at all. You won't see much cost savings, and you're actually limited your options. And by having a disc, it doesn't take away your ability from going all digital if you choose to. So that doesn't really make sense. Anyway, so let me check out the comment box, guys. I will stop sharing my screen. Let me see some comments. I appreciate you guys stopping by. So let me look through the comments, see if there's any questions, concerns. I appreciate all of you coming through. Yeah, I see my mic. Let's see. Do I see anything? Any questions? Any questions? What we got here? I know some people are from Destiny. They at least want their armor to carry over. Yeah, really a lot of things should carry over if it's just a continuation of the saga. That's why I was hoping they would go completely different, completely new class, just new everything. So that way, because this is going to really piss off a lot of gamers for Destiny 2. It's just gonna be crazy. Okay, let's see where we go. People, console. The comment box is going up. They're going crazy. If you're viewing this, please please hit the like button. I will appreciate it. But let's see. Everybody's talking about arguing no games and all right. Let me address that real quick. Let me address that because I'm seeing that a lot with the whole Xbox no games, PlayStation got no games, PlayStation has shitty winter and all this stuff. Listen, you guys are getting angry over something that's been done for decades. This console has no game. That console has no games and stuff like that. Like, just don't worry about it. It's just pot shots and shit talking. When I talk about Xbox, I don't really like to use the term Xbox got no games. I know it got games. It has a lot of multi-plots. You have a backlog of libraries to play. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see Microsoft doing a bit more with its first-party studios. They don't have a lot of first-party studios, so they don't have a lot to to cycle content year after year after year. You know what I mean? And so far, the relationships with second party, while they make initial attempts to get stuff, it just seems over the last year or so they haven't been doing much relationships. They recently, they canceled Scalebound. Insomniac about 2 weeks ago, you know, announced that they're ready to make Sunset Overdrive, but they never got a phone call from Microsoft. We all know Playground's making a game because their studios expanded, so they're ready to make an open world game. But Phil's not trying to do anything to make it, exclusive or timed exclusive, stuff like that. So we're seeing a lot of things that, while Microsoft have some projects this year, with Sea of Thieves, Crackdown, and stuff. What else? What are the other studios doing? We know 343 stuck on a Halo cycle, and we know Coalition stuck on the Gears of War cycle, and we know, Turn 10 does the Forza cycle. But what else beyond that? Are you building new studios? Is Fable coming back? Are you creating new IPs? What are the studios doing those IPs? That's my main thing. Microsoft needs to expand their empire with providing more titles. You know what I'm saying? Sony has a huge umbrella of developers, to push out and stuff. So that's the main thing. Going through. Let's see. Anything else? A lot of people are agreeing $499 to $599. I think $500 is probably the spot. Some people are saying there might be two models, and it's possible. It's not like I'm saying you guys are wrong. I just don't see it because I think it'll be simpler to just focus on just one standard model for the Scorpio, and put what you can on that console. You got because really two different Scorpios. How different are they going to be? I mean, the two differences is really going to be just hard drive space. So why you're going to release a 500 gig Scorpio? I mean, a 1 terabyte Scorpio for 500 and a 2 terabyte for 600. That doesn't really make sense. Just release the 1 terabyte one, and then that's it. That's all people are going to deal with. And then obviously they'll have the external hard drives to bump up whatever. Or if they really want to make it premium, start out with the 1 terabyte, but be allowed to switch it out and stuff. Switch out your hard drive. So if you want your own 2 terabyte, you can do that. Make that like a little exclusive fringe benefit for the thing. But I don't see the reason in just having two consoles, or multiple consoles, because the only difference you're gonna have between the two or between the three is just hard drive space. But if you just right out the bat give it a high, amount of hard drive space, you don't need anything to come out with more. Me personally, I think the $500 model and 2 terabyte hard drive space, or $500 model with a 1 terabyte hybrid hard drive space. Hard drive. I can see that. Let's see. I hope Microsoft don't do something stupid like packing a Elite controller, because that would add a lot to the cost. I could see it add a lot to the cost, but if it was still at $500, I think that would be a huge. This is from Sobsky. I think that would be a huge benefit. If the Scorpio gets packed in with the Elite controller, and even if Microsoft has to eat up the cost a little bit, that will make the product really, really attractive, and it'll still give that very premium feel right out the box. So you're talking premium feel right down to the controller right out the box, but that's how it is. It's your first one. Everyone's going to be trading in their Pixie 4s and Pixie 4 Pros for Scorpio. Why? Because only the best is good enough for you. Okay, Furious One. If that's your opinion, then why over the last 3 years you guys stuck with Xbox One when it wasn't providing the very best multiplayer? Very best multiplats. Think about that. A lot of people are now saying, "Oh, it's the best version, so that's why people go in Scorpio." Yet you're the same demographic that stood by your Xbox One, despite the fact the superior version of games were on the PS4. So if your statement hold any truth, you would have not stuck by the Xbox One. You would have went with the PlayStation 4 because of the superior version of games. So that's the point. The point was a lot of you stood by the Xbox One because it gave you what you wanted. You didn't care if another product had the best version. What mattered to you was what you got out of it, So when Scorpio comes out, sure, it'll have the best version of games, but if people could play amazing games for $200, they're going to enjoy that. And that's what they're going to go with. Let's see what else. Why is Crackdown Xbox biggest exclusive? It's only as big exclusive for this year. barring any new announcements from E3 from the upcoming E3. We don't know if they're gonna announce a bigger title. But that's just the situation that it is. I don't know how Crackdown became. Well, I could say because of the cloud compute, the physics, cloud compute, there's your server physics. A lot of people are hyping that. Okay. Stuff like that. Let's see what else. Any other questions? Let me see if I can go down. I'm trying to go down the list. I'm trying to catch up, so I'm behind. A lot of conversations between y'all about Scorpio and Xbox. What's up, Jay? Everything according to me. Thank you for stopping by. That's how you know how far down. Let's see. Subsky said he'll buy a discless Scorpio. So how you feel about you people of that? A discless Scorpio or discless console? Why would you want one? Let me get your feedback from you guys. Why would you guys? But who's next? I might do a PR77 on Amazon Prime. Hey, Best Buy also does it too. They have like the Gamers Club or some shit like that, and if you're part of it, games are like $50. Physical copies and shit like that. But anyway, for some of you, can you guys bring out some opinions? Why would you buy a discless console? Can you guys give me some opinions on that? Because chances are you're not going to get a cost savings with a discless console. Like I said, putting a disc on a console is not expensive at all. You know what I mean? Like I said, companies sell drives for like $50, some even 30, and they make profit off that. So you can imagine how much a drive costs for a manufacturer. It's really not expensive at all. Let's see. Okay. Some people said they'll pay $800, everything. But that's because you're a techie, Jay. You're a big techie and you're big on that. So you will push that level of money. But the average consoles gamers ain't gonna go there. All right, everything to me better. Okay. I prefer Square disc drive, but if there was only a disc list, if only, yeah, okay. I mean, if there's only a disc list, then you would get it only because you're forced. But I was saying, do you people want to see these manufacturers start making discless consoles? Is that something you guys are looking forward to? Do you want to see that? A console where it doesn't have a disc drive in it. Is that something some of you are looking forward to? I just don't see the point in it. Again, you're not going to get a cost savings on it. You're not going to save money, and it doesn't stop you from being digital only. If anything, I just don't see it being something, and it limits options. Just all around. It limits. Again, you personally might be like, well, I don't need disc. I don't buy disc, but other people might buy disc, or a friend might, say, hey, I got this game. You want to try it out and check it out? All those things now go against you. You won't be able to go to Redbox and try a game for one day or whatever. So I don't see the point in a discless console. And then also you can't play your disc movies if you're into that. So I just don't see any advantage on that at all and stuff. Don't see much questions and stuff. But anyway, so I'll just cut it out here and stuff. Thanks for rocking out with me. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. But anyway, thank you for showing up. Princess is here. Thank you so much for stopping by, Princess. I'll get back to my 60 Frames No Like podcast in April. Been real busy with work and stuff, but not too busy to do these little bite-sized conversations with y'all. But anyway, thank you so much for rocking out with me. Let me get my little sound out here. You know what I'm saying? You know how I do. You got to hear this sound. All right. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe, like, hit the like button, and rock me out on Twitter. I put my information below. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and I have more conversations there. All right. Anyway, you guys take care. Enjoy your day, and enjoy this weekend. Princess, I should be able to be on your podcast tomorrow, so I'll be looking forward to it. All right. All right, people. Take care.